Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I don't think we need any formal introductions. My name is Vinay Karle. I'm graduated from Hostel 5 with all of you guys. And I've been a volunteer with HF, Heritage Foundation and Alumni Association for past 20 plus years. So that's why you will see me doing some of these informational broadcasts. And I generally transit to the campus a couple of times a year on my way to Pune and Latur. So I've seen the campus change over last 20 years. I've recruited from the campus. And I'm sure some of you who probably have been in touch with campus, some of you probably haven't been there in the last 25 years. You will see a lot of changes there. Of course, there are a lot of new buildings. Some of the infrastructure, as you know, I don't know how many people know, but Hostel 4 and Hostel 7 at this point are empty. They've reached the end of life. Hostel 5 is being renovated and Hostel 8 will be raised combined with Hostel 7, and a multi-story 1,000+ room building is going to come up there. So these are just the things that I'm aware of. I'm sure Professor Joshi has a lot of things that he will cover. So, and the idea is that, again, I said earlier, 20-30 minutes we'll have interaction with Professor Joshi, and then followed by a hostel breakout room. And if there are not enough people in the breakout room, we stay where we are. Just to give you a quick introduction, again, Professor Joshi doesn't need any introduction, but he's actually I consider him as our batchmate. He joined in 92 along with us. He finished his PhD in 97, and some of you Hostel 3 guys may recognize him. He was there for 5 years. And if I may say so, Suhas, you and Subhashis have added reinvigorated this whole movement in some way, which is reminiscent of when the alumni movement actually started, I think in 96, 97. Also, I think one of the things you had mentioned to us was to get more postgraduates involved, and I'm going to turn the table on you and say that since you are our batchmate, that you help us do that. And for the rest of us, Professor Joshi joined after he graduated from IIT Bombay. He worked for Tata Motors. He did his postdoctorate, if I'm not mistaken, at Georgia Tech. He was a visiting faculty at Urbana-Champaign UIUC, and then he came back to IIT Bombay as a faculty member in Mechanical Engineering Department, and now he's the Dean, Alumni and Corporate Relations. So a very warm welcome to you. I know you're traveling. Thanks for taking the time out. He also has his office colleagues, Dipti Date, who is also traveling, but is taking Ravi Shankar, maybe you can identify yourselves later, and who is again IIT Bombay 90 grad. He's joined as the CEO of DRF, which is Development and Relation Foundation, affiliated with IIT Bombay. And we also have Devesh Khatu, who is the CEO of IIT Bombay Alumni Association. He's also class of 90. I do see a couple of board members from AA. So welcome to you as well, and welcome to everyone from different parts of the world from a class of 96. So with that introduction, Suhas, I'm going to hand it over to you. So floor is yours, and take it away.
Sure. So thank you, Vinay, and thank you all for joining this kickoff meeting. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Vinay?
sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for joining. I think I see some familiar faces. Of course, Sudhir Nikam is there. I can very well know him. I think the others are not. I could recognize some faces probably once you know that. I was also in Hostel 3 between 92 to 97 and in 0th wing of the Hostel 3. So yeah, some faces look familiar, but it will need little more introduction. So I have shared a deck with you, and that has like a presentation by director about the whole institute, and the presentation by Dean ACI, that is myself, about the uh, activities of the alumni, my department actually, alumni and corporate relations. So, but I have actually prepared a gist of that presentation probably for your benefit. So I'll share my screen and try to uh, explain a bit.
Just as the screen is coming up, if I may request those who are not speaking to be on the mute, because there is some background noise that's coming through.
Yeah, I think so. We should all keep it mute, right? Except for the
Yeah,
speaker. Right.
yeah.
So thank you all again for joining this meeting, and I have my team, which is quite a big one. On IIT Bombay side, we have Ravi Shankar, who is 1990 batch alum. And IIT Bombay has its own foundation, Development and Relation Foundation, which is a professional company to engage with the alumni and corporates of the institute, which is similar to any university in the world, that there are some foundations of the universities and they actually carry out this activity. So the 2016 IIT Bombay has started this Development and Relations Foundation. So Ravi Shankar is its CEO. Dhananjay is a MTech alum. He is a VP of operations, and Deepthi is a AVP in alumni relations. We also have a big team of alumni led by Devesh Khatu, who is also again a BTech of 1990 batch and is the CEO of IIT Bombay Alumni Association. And we have another team in USA, which is led by Mashru and DC Agrawal. And of course, Vinay has been a big part of this IIT Bombay Heritage Foundation, which is again associated with IIT Bombay. So there are three different organizations which are working to help or cater the relations, alumni relations with the institute. Needless to say, IIT Bombay is fortunate to have a large number of alumni in more than 60,000 alumni who are helping the institute in many ways and are the stakeholders in the progress of the institute. These include, of course, UG majority, but there are a lot of PG alumni also who are interested in joining. So here is a kind of list of various alumni who have contributed to the institute. It's not the exhaustive list. I must apologize at the beginning itself if I have missed some of the names, and I'm sure I would have missed several names out of this. But early, you can say 90s, Kanwal Rekhi and Nandan Nilekani have actually helped the institute to establish entrepreneurship center in the institute, which is named as Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And today it is one of the biggest and the best incubator in the country. All credit goes to alumni, and subsequently, a lot of alumni have joined there as mentoring the upcoming students. Uh, Alumni have helped us in having several centers of excellence: School of Information Technology by Kanwal Rekhi, renovation of Hostel 8 by Nandan Nilekani, Victor Menenz's Convention Center. Rumesh Wadhwani has established Wadhwani Research Center for Bioengineering. Shailesh Mehta, School of Management. Bharat Desai, School of Entrepreneurship and Gymkhana. Mashru has helped in a big way. Abhay Pandey has funded the HSS department's new program of BS Economics, a building for that program. Recently, Ashank Desai, our MTech alum, has funded for Center for Policy Studies. Rizwan Koita is again 1992 alum. He's helping us establish Center for Digital Health, and the list is sort of endless. A lot of alumni are coming and helping us to build several centers of excellence. Whereas we have several legacy batches, like your 96 batch, but a lot of batches have come forward and done a lot of projects for the institute, and these projects have become very big in the institutes and are helping our students as well as faculty in a big way. Tinkerer's Lab is one such a initiative by 1963 and 1975 batches. Air-conditioned study rooms by 1969 and 1992 batches. Young Faculty Award to attract the best faculty to IIT Bombay, faculty members to IIT Bombay. This was by 1992 batch. Most of these legacy batches are actually uh, uh, supported by various subsequent batches. One batch started the project. Any idea? I mean, anything? Okay, I get some. I thought there is some question.
No, I think there is someone who needs to mute the call.
Okay.
Go ahead, Professor Joshi.
Yeah. So retired faculty welfare fund for faculty members who retired before 2001, where there was no insurances, proper insurances at that point of time. Students' well-being has been supported in a big way by 1986 and 1992 batch. uh, I think I mean, these programs require a lot of explanation. I mean, a lot of because a lot of discussions have gone and coining these programs. Ideas program for promoting entrepreneurship by 1990 batch, biomethanation plant and beautification of campus by the same batch, covered pathway by 1991 batch, RISE program, travel grants to the students. Again, Bandhu program is again student well-being program, self-help student well-being program, IT hardware and broadband connectivity to the students, significantly helped by 1993 batch, but other batches, other alumni also have helped. But there are many projects of this kind in which the alumni are helping the institute in a variety of ways.
So one question,
Yeah,
Professor Joshi,
yeah,
as far as, can you go back to the slide?
yeah,
The slide?
yeah.
So I've heard very good things about SIGN. So the question is SIGN a initiative of IIT Bombay, or SIGN is still privately funded? I mean, that's something, if you can clarify, that would be great.
No, it is the institute's sort of independent company of institute, and it operates in a professional way, but it's an institute's organization.
And the IP rights, etc., of technology developed at SIGN, does it belong to the institute or the company? I mean, just out of curiosity.
So it is like this, that IP which is generated in IIT Bombay, that is actually carried forward for incubation in SIGN. So
So
students and faculty members of IIT Bombay, they actually develop the technologies and then they actually commercialize or incubate in SIGN. So SIGN Pro is an incubator which provides the all facilities, access to funding for incubation of the technology. So licensing is actually done with IIT Bombay.
So that's exactly my point, that this will go a long way because this serves as a funding source for a long time. So some
Yes,
idea like this is very key. Thank you.
sure, sure. Definitely. There are this program is one of them. Research Park is another program. So I can give you a lot of examples of this kind, and we can discuss about them. So
I had one question, Professor Joshi,
sure,
on
sure.
a couple of projects on the previous page.
Yes.
You say that it's a certain batch and subsequent batches. So
Yes.
I'm assuming those ones require like continuous funding,
Yes.
and
Yes.
subsequent batches have just joined.
Yes, yes. So when a legacy batch comes, there are certain programs which are coming through a legacy batches, and a particular legacy batch actually contributes to that program as a kind of a compulsory contribution, so that the program sustain for year after year. And then each batch, we have a lot of discussions with them and those discussions mainly revolve around how the students is the first focus, how the students' welfare and enhancing their learning experience is to be worked on. So there are a lot of things which are involved in that, right from giving the scholarships to the students, opening new departments or new centers of excellence in the institute, so that the students are exposed to new centers and new ideas. Also, going to social sciences and liberal sciences, and exposing the students to those. So there are plenty of scope in that particular direction, improving their communication, improving their non-cognitive skills, personality development, and several of those types are there. So enhancing learning experience is like broadening their base of knowledge, broadening their base of experience. So a lot of things come into that. The second is faculty and research. You all know that the professors' research actually flows back into their teaching, and that's how the teaching at IITs or IIT Bombay is unique in that particular way. So each course is taught by a particular faculty member in a kind of different way. So bringing that research closer to the society and industry, for that purpose, promoting industrial interactions, social interactions, what we do, what we can do for that. There are several examples of this kind of association, which we have cited in our slide deck, which I have shared. Innovation and entrepreneurship is very important, because all the innovations can be really brought to the society or nation by converting them into entrepreneurship and going ahead. Recently, you must have heard the news that three of our alumni have formed a company, incubated company, and it has actually gone out. Its name is Idea Forge. They actually are specialized in manufacturing drones, and this company has now bagged a contract of 140 crores of rupees from Government of India for providing drones for various applications, including surveillance, transportation, detection of suspicious devices, and so on and so forth. So uh, like that, the entrepreneurship can help you to reach to the interest of large number of people as well as nation in a big way. And the fourth pillar which we work on is fostering a world-class campus. The campus infrastructure is now quite different, and whichever already it is there, it is quite old. So we have to revamp. I keep introducing the new infrastructure. Number of students are growing, so our number of hostels are required. So that's where I encourage each one of you to come forward and contribute to the best of your abilities to the various causes of the institute. Many times, alumni have a thought process that IIT Bombay is a government institution. Yes, it is a government institution, but the policies of the government have changed significantly, and they would like the institute to be absolutely self-sufficient from various angles, and that's how the institute needs to raise quite a substantial amount of funds for the future, making the future of the younger generation secure. So as I mentioned, there are some causes which are kind of standard ones where earlier legacy batches have donated, and we continue those projects. But more specific of your batch or your aspirations require, an institute needs require quite a good amount of discussion for that matchmaking, and we are ready to help you. As far as your reunion is concerned, we'll definitely help you to organize the programs, and my team is available to make your reunion a grand success. So I'll stop here, but if you have questions on this slide as well as the previous slide deck which I have shared, I would be very happy to answer those questions. Or if you want me to run through the previous slide deck, that also we can do. Yeah, I think Vinay can suggest.
Yeah. So, I mean, Professor Joshi, first of all, thanks a lot for, this is, high level, but comprehensive coverage. And thanks for putting this deck together to keep it short. I had actually one question, and then I had one comment, one following on Amit's question about IIT Sign. When you incubate an idea, can IIT Bombay do they retain an equity stake in those companies?
Yeah, they take equity, but it's a little smaller in amount. It's not like very large, but yes, about I think 2 to 3% they take equity in those companies. Yes.
Okay. So it's allowed to keep like
Yes.
Stanford.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And on a different note, for the benefit of everyone, and if I may embarrass you a little bit, Obviously we are in the midst of a pandemic. It's been a tragedy. Also, IIT Bombay campus has been impacted, and students are basically remote. And I can share with the rest of the team, because we worked closely with Professor Joshi and director to come up with the laptop drive, which Professor Joshi pretty
Yes.
much, he executed. He deeply cared about the students, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Professor Joshi, there is no student who is left behind. Anyone
Yes.
who needs internet connectivity, laptop, etc., and
Yes.
you raise close to 4 to 5 crores for that.
Yes, about 5 crores for that. Yeah, yeah. This was a interesting case when actually we moved to, because of pandemic, we have actually told the students that we will move all the classes online. But what happened was we made a survey and we found that a large number of students are not having kind of laptops, and a large number of students are not having broadband connectivity. So they were not able to, they were not ready to take the lectures. So we actually contacted all the alumni, and then all of them, they quickly come forward. Heritage Foundation, as well as Alumni Association of IIT Bombay in Mumbai, all of them have come forward along with 1993 batch. They all
The 94.
Sorry, 94 batch. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be one or two mistakes here. Please pardon me for that. 94 batch. Yes, 94 batch. So they came forward, and immediately within short time we could raise about 4.5 crore. And we have provided now laptops to about 760 students of the institute. Yeah, they say it's quite a big number, and but yeah, I think we were able to provide them in a short time, thanks to our team, also thanks to all the donors who supported us.
So is this like given to them forever, or it's like a
Yeah. So
lease or something?
So what we did is that we asked them to buy up to a certain limit, laptop about 45,000 rupees, and submit the bills to us. And we also said that we also asked them to sign a pledge saying that as soon as they get out of the institute and they are able to return this amount to the institute, they should return it back to the institute as early as possible when they get out of the institute. Yes, so that most all of them have signed that particular pledge that they will return this money to the institute once they complete their education.
I think, Vinay Malhotra has a question.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, actually, one of the things, Professor Joshi, I wanted out of this call, personally at least, was to understand IIT Bombay's current needs. What are the more focus areas? Where do you need the most support on? And I think the original deck you had circulated had that, like the last 2 or 3 slides had that. So I was wondering, could we go to that deck and just get a perspective from you on
Sure,
what are
sure,
those
sure.
burning requirements in a way?
Yeah, that's a great point, Mamu. Yeah.
Sure, sure. I'll share this the other slides.
So while you bring up the deck, Professor Joshi, I just wanted to let you know that some of us have started scouting postgraduate participation, and in fact, Ashank
Yes.
told me that he will help, and then one of our graduates, Anurag Mairan, who is a faculty at Stanford, Anurag said that he will help us. He's 92 graduate, but he said that he will help us reach out
Yes.
to PGs, etc. So hopefully we'll get their participation as well. And just so that you know, numbers wise, we have located about 170 odd or maybe 175 people on the Signal group where we communicate regularly.
Yes.
And we have two departed souls, and may they rest in peace, that we have identified. So just wanted to give you sort of that idea. And I think based on the data that your office shared, total number of graduates is about actually more than 750. So clearly we have a lot many more people to reach out.
So I
Yeah.
also have one question for Professor. Professor,
Yeah. Sure.
so one thing that I actually attended the Silver Jubilee of 1990 batch in 2019,
Yes.
and one thing that was evident was the fact that the number of students coming in, the student intake per year has increased drastically compared to how our time was.
Yes.
Question
Yes.
is government even providing that sort of needed funding per capita meaning per student, because
student, yeah.
that kind of breaks down the whole
Yeah.
what do you say, the funding requirements, because if the number of students increase and the funding level remains constant, it
Yeah.
becomes more and more burdensome on the institute.
So this is something which is kind of not in our control, because since we are an institute made by the Parliament, Act of Parliament, uh, uh, the government's decisions to increase the number of students, and it is not that they don't give money, but they give, first to give the increase the number of students, and then they slowly try to give funds for that, accommodating those requests. And that's where it creates a lot of heartburn for the institute as well as the students. Of course, the students don't mind staying in hostels, two in each room and all that. But yes, it causes a lot of difficulties in executing those entire programs for all the UG students. So that's not in our control, though we try to stagger. At the most, what we can do is we can slightly stagger those increase in the number of seats, saying that 10% we do now and 10% we do next year, something like that. So, but it's a quite a substantial increase which happened, and yes, we are trying to cope with that particular thing, which is we have little control over those.
Does the control not increase even if we are declared as an institute of eminence, or it doesn't
Yeah.
have
So,
anything to do with that? And
yeah. So what happens is the Institute of Eminence is another new project the government of India has started, and we were among the first institutes to be declared as Institute of Eminence. And as a part of Institute of Eminence, the deal is that the government will provide a research funding to establish state-of-the-art research infrastructure in the institute. And there the deal is that the government will provide 45% of that, and 55% the institute has to raise. So out of 2000 crores which are supposed to be raised, totally requirement of the institute to revamp the entire research infrastructure of the institute, roughly 45% is given by the government, and rest of the infrastructure is to be raised by the institute. So that is where the that particular deal is, and that's where the institute, the government would like the institute to become more and more independent from the, and it is something like this that if our sort of entire income, like if we are able to raise more than half of our requirement, yearly requirement, then we can not only get an administrative or academic independence, but the financial independence also, provided we raise more than 50% of our total income. So if you see the whole entire institute's uh, you know budget, it's about 1,000 crores or something, and we on our own raise about 100 crores per year or something of that order. So we have to raise at least the 500 mark, go beyond 500 mark to be far more independent and far more financial as well as the administrative independence.
I think Amol Patekar also has a question. Amol, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Professor Joshi, you said that this bigger slide deck was shared with this group. I have not seen it, so I was
Okay.
wondering where I
Sure,
can
sure.
find it.
Yeah. Um,
So Amol, I
can
will.
you share the link with him?
Yeah, Amol,
yeah,
I will share the link with you. Are you on the Signal group by any chance?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
You
so
can
I
check
shared
the
it
chat.
there. I don't know when you joined, but I will repost it.
It's
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
IITB Heritage Fund. You need the official email with which you contacted the with which you have the IIT BHF.
No, no. This is an open folder. It doesn't need iitbombay.org email address.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, in fact, I just pulled the
I think
slide.
Vinay.
They're
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Yeah.
I think Vinay, what we should do is, बीच बीच में like we should have this habit of reposting the important documents because we'll keep on adding more and more people to the
Yeah,
signal group.
agreed,
तो
agreed.
एक कॉमन सा डेक बना के उसको every time we'll keep on adding it ऐसा बीच बीच मतलब
Yeah,
reposting it. I mean it may be a nuisance for the older ones, but ठीक है यार अभी we'll have to tolerate that.
yeah. No, agree.
I
Yes.
think we can also probably put some of these important links in a description of the signal group so they stay there, like the sticky.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Rakesh.
Think of that sort of, we'll have to work out some way of new people knowing at least the basic standard stuff, what is being something on that side.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys, if I may add, just talking to people, and this is not a question for Professor Joshi, but just an observation, sort of lessons learned from the previous batches. I talked to a couple of people from last year. The one thing they said was, you have to keep thinking about how do you propel IIT to the next level. I mean, that should be your guiding principle in whatever ideas, we come up with. And one of the things I don't think they need to tell us, we all realize that too, that the collective influence of each batch or the social capital that we've built is something to be reckoned with. And that has to, in addition to celebrating our memories and all that stuff, it has to be put to some good use when we all come back together after 25 years. So, just some gratuitous gyan, so to speak, is what was given, and I'm just passing it along. So, basically, how do we make IIT Bombay a better place than it is already?
Yes, I think it is well said. Well said. So, I mean, these are some of the new projects which are actually coming up in the institute. These are like good manufacturing facility. Animal facility is something where we can test the devices and, which we develop. We have a biosciences and bioengineering department with a very faculty members with a varied background from medicine as well as engineering background. And they develop a lot of devices, technologies, and they need to be tested on at least on the mice level, but that involves a lot of protocols. We have certain feelers from the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting that they are interested in some kind of games and animations, visual communication. I mean, the Bombay is uh, the is a hub of Bollywood, and lot of these information technology and audio video technology is required for that purpose. So some kind of a center of excellence in that direction. Translational Research Academy is another project of the institute where if you see that there are large number of technologies which are generated by the students and faculty members of the institute, but they actually remain in the laboratories. Sometimes they don't even cross to sign. They just remain there because of the support they need or the product readiness requirement, technology readiness level enhancement which is required by that. So that particular addition requires technological enhancement as well as funding for that purpose, and the technologies die at that point of time. So to identify the niche technologies and taking them to the next readiness level and taking it to sign or to some outside from IIT Bombay, this Translational Research Academy is being developed. Center for Excellence in Nanotechnology, Health Informatics. Some of these programs are being worked on, but some of these are being developed. Center for Machine Intelligence and Data Sciences is called as C-Minds program. This is also another important program of the institute. Quantum technology, uh, uh, academic program on liberal sciences, especially science, engineering, and mathematics. And like this, there are several of these projects. But I think we need a lot of discussion to understand the existing programs and how do we take those further.
Professor Joshi,
From
there are some of them had a amount written against them. So just for
yes,
me to understand, those are like the target amounts, or that is the part which has already been funded.
some of these we have some funds available for these programs. Some of these programs have some funds available. So, for example, Technology Innovation Hub for Internet of Things, and it is under the Institute of Imminence. We have 180 crores funds available. So, all the technologies in the domain of Internet of Things can be, can be taken up further for incubation and further for the startups, as well as the earlier pre-incubation development of technology can also be taken up over there. Vadhwani Research Center has started his phase 2 for developing products in bioengineering and biosciences, and that's where some funding is available in these projects.
Now, this is great information personally for me, because while the batch will be brainstorming new ideas, these are
Yes.
already existing ideas from which we could also look into. Right?
Yes. So one another important document which I would, urge all of you to go through is the strategic plan of IIT Bombay. This is a document which is available at this particular link, which actually gives you the 10 commandments or 10 objectives of the institute. What are all the major objectives of the institute? Enhance the engagement with society and industry. We want to make our research more meaningful, broaden the educational areas. As I mentioned, that we want to introduce a number of new courses, new ways of teaching, learning, improve internal support system. That we want to improve the internal responding team, which actually handles the projects, enhance students' experience, broaden funding base of the institute, attract international students and faculty. That helps us in increasing the ranking of the institute. And of course, this requires a lot of support from various quarters to provide the facilitate the travel, facilitate the stay, and our students going abroad and foreign students coming inside. Advanced frontiers of the knowledge, that's where I have mentioned that Institute of Eminence. That's where the 2000 crores are available, and 55% division between the institute and government of India. Enhancing diversity is also one of the very, very important aspect of the institute. Want to promote more girl children to get into the IIT Bombay system. Even today, you will find that uh, after clearing JEE Advanced and the state government engineering entrance exam, the girl students are asked to stay at the same place, take into admission in local engineering college, and not to go to any of the IITs. So, uh, so attracting them, right from their admission time to further getting them inside the institute is a big challenge, and that's where uh, this is one of the objectives of the institute. Enhancing
I guess
alumni.
that has surely increased, right, in these recent
It has
days.
increased, yes.
Right.
Now
The
undergraduate education.
reservation, the girl reservation thing has
Yes.
surely helped in
So
that.
government has done this girl reservation of 14% across all the branches. So that has actually helped a lot to increase the number of girl students getting into the institute. So overall, about 24% of the girl students are girl students, but undergraduate education is about 14 to 15%.
Okay.
Enhancing alumni engagement is, again, from that point of view, IIT Bombay has established this foundation, Development and Relations Foundation, of which Ravi Shankar is the CEO. And it has now actually come under the Alumni and Corporate Relations. So Alumni and Corporate Relations Office, or Dean's Office, has this foundation is working with the Dean's Office for the better engagement of alumni. And of course, cleaner and greener campus. So you can go through this document. It's actually very elaborately, it gives you what is the viewpoint, where the institute would like to go. There are some targets also mentioned in each of these cases. Yeah. So around the Institute of Eminence, we are developing about 5 world-class laboratories. Each laboratory is not a single laboratory, but it's a conglomerate of many laboratories: advanced nanofabrication and characterization lab, materials and manufacturing, health science, data and information science, and sustainable chemical science. So these are like 5 mega conglomerates of laboratories which the institute will develop. And of course, there are some other projects also, I mean, targets also in that Institute of Eminence of project. So this particular slide actually summarizes the newly developed ecosystem of IIT Bombay. When you were there, probably at that time, research has actually started. But before your batches, IIT was primarily an academic institution. So in somewhere in 90s, late 90s, the research component was added into the system. And in 2010 or 15 or something of that a decade, last 1 decade or something, innovation and entrepreneurship is added into that. So if you see the research and entrepreneurial ecosystem of the institute, you'll find that there are fundamental research centers. So these are some of the names of fundamental research centers at the institute. These are some of the names of applied research centers of the institute. These are some of the the entrepreneurial education, training, mentoring centers of the institute. And these are some of the education and outreach sort of centers of the institute. These names are written in a small amount, a number, the abbreviations are elaborated at the bottom, but there are many centers of excellence in the institute which actually help you to form this research and entrepreneurial ecosystem. One of the important parts probably is the research park of IIT Bombay, where our intention is to bring the industries inside the campus of the institute, where the industries will actually start developing the product by using the faculty members and students of IIT Bombay. So what we do is that we gave them the space in the research park of IIT Bombay at a rate which is lower than the market rate, but we ask the industries to collaborate. If the X is the rate, we ask them to collaborate 3 times X with the institute on a research and product development. So the companies will come and set up their R&Ds in the institute, and then earn some points by spending money on sponsoring research or consultancy or these modes of interactions which are there. So basically, this helps us to improve the technology readiness level of the institute, because the companies are directly on the campus. So we have about 11 companies on the campus right now who are working on various product developments. So this is a kind of conceptual picture of IIT Bombay Research Park. A 14-floor building is coming up across the pipeline. We have 100 acres land beyond the water pipeline. And that's where one 14-story building is coming up. Of course, this is a slide about the impact of sign. So 140 companies have incubated, 60 have graduated, about 48 are currently working on this. A new building, this is a picture of new building of sign, which is more than 50,000 square feet, which is coming up opposite to the arch. If you walk across from the main building, you cross the arch and meet one cross road. This building is coming up right at that particular place.
So it's like at IDC area?
It's just cross that road and across the road, just in front of the IDs. I mean, that T road, you hit across T when you walk from the arch away from the building, you come across a road near IDC. It's on the other side of the road.
Okay.
we are also having one of the biggest collaborations with IIT Bombay Monash University. This is IIT Bombay Monash University Academy, where there are 180 joint PhD students are working. So it's one of the biggest PhD collaborations between the two institutes in the world, where such a large number of students are enrolled. Of course, we have a executive MBA program with Washington University at St. Louis, and that's also a very popular program of 18 months, where professors from Washington University come and teach this program. There are several programs with other universities also. Of course, these are some of the research centers, and these are some student teams. We have almost like 10 students teams working on Mars vehicle, all-terrain vehicle, high-speed vehicles, underwater vehicles, and solar house, and several. So this is a Matsya is an underwater vehicle program. Pratham satellite is another team. Rakshak is a UAV team of the students. So yeah, so I have gone up to this lifestyle improvement. We have added several hostels, but right now hostel 8 is in a very bad shape, and at least about 2 wings of hostel 4 are not are in a bad shape. So hostel 4, hostel 8, hostel 8 is definitely not livable. Hostel 7, part of the hostel 7 last wing, which was towards the institute, has been already consumed in hostel 17, which is coming up there. But new hostels are of massive capacities of 1,115 students. So this is an aerial view of hostel 10. If you see the left-hand side figure, this 2 Cs are there, one from this side, the other from this side is hostel 10. So the smaller C, inverted C, is the one where faculty building was there, and that faculty building was demolished, and this C was prepared. By then, the original hostel 10 was this double-story building. Once this hostel was ready, this building was demolished, and in its place, about 8-story new hostel 10 is actually built. So this whole building is a hostel 10 building. Hostel 15, 16, and 15 and 16 is like vertical blocks. These are like A, B, C wings of hostel 15 and A, B, C wings of hostel 16. And a total of about 2,000 capacity. This is behind hostel 1. These hostels are behind hostel 1.
Near Samir, I mean, that means.
Yeah, it must be
Yes,
near.
just before Samir, and behind hostel 1. Yeah, on your left-hand side. Okay, I think this will go on. We can discuss. One of the another programs of the institute is Makerspace. Several of our older alumni have come to the institute and told that while our students are very good at analytical skills, computers, but compared to international students, our students lack hands-on skills. So, so that is where I think which was necessary was the maker space of IIT Bombay, primarily to inculcate that particular spirit of doing by hands among the students, train the students and designing and manufacturing skills, do it by yourself. So this is another big project of the institute. I can give you share a presentation on makerspace of the institute. One of the interesting aspect is that the building for this particular program is available because the makerspace will be positioned in Desai Sethi Entrepreneurship School, for which has been supported by Bharat Desai. So part of this building is reserved for makerspace and part of it for entrepreneurship. So actually that doing it by hands will actually also promote the entrepreneurship. So both these centers are actually um, kept together. So,
does IDC help in this in some form?
IDC has a slightly different view of doing. Yes, some of the ways like designing and freehand sketching, conceptualization of the products. Yes, that is actually uh, uh, being taken over by the IDC professors. Yes. Uh, Faculty and research, we have certain schemes. As I mentioned, the newly joined faculty members get 4 lakhs of additional salary to take care of their initial expenses and a barrier to come back to India, this is also provided through the legacy batches. 1982 batches started. From then onwards, it is being continuously given. Institute on its own has started a seed grant of about 1 crore for every faculty member who is joining the institute for establishing his or her laboratory. It is from the institute's own fund. The institute gives this. You have to make the faculty has to make a very competitive proposal for that purpose. We have several chair professorships to recognize the eminence among the faculty members who are established and who actually pioneer certain fields. So we have about 34 endowed chair professorship given by the donors, but the number of faculty members is 700 plus. So institute on its own also have instituted institute chair professorships to match the endowed chair professorship supported by the donors. We also have a NR Kamath chair professorship, again provided by 1963 batch, uh, uh, for inviting eminent professors from abroad to the institute and stay in the institute for a period of 6 months, and they take care of their international salary, their travel, and stay in the institute. So this is a completely alumni sponsored chair professorship. Of course, alumni have instituted awards for various faculty of the institute. But as I said, uh, there are 700 faculty members, so these are very few. These are some example slides of Wadhwani Research Center with the generous support of the distinguished alumnus Romesh Wadhwani for again translational research. This is a corporate contribution to the institute, one of the biggest contribution of 100 crores to the institute by Tata Trust. It's slightly busy slide, but it has this particular theme of this particular Tata Center is frugal engineering. That means helping with the advanced technology for the people at the bottom of the pyramid. So there are more than 100 projects which have been taken up and by the faculty members of the institute. The students who join these projects are called as Tata Fellows. There are about 103 Tata Fellows, but there are 150 non-IITians also who join this particular program. They do a lot of outreach activities. Most of these 97 projects are outside the IIT Bombay. They are in the field for those who are required. One of the interesting things they do is that they do a Tata Center Yatra and field trips. Yatra is something like you get into a bus and roam around for 1 month and try to understand the needs of society and then convert those needs into projects and solve those things. So there are several they work in various domains like education, energy, food, agriculture, water, all social needs.
Professor
Of course,
Joshi, one quick,
yeah,
go ahead.
yes,
One
please.
quick question: how does the Tata Center interact with our Sitara?
I was just about to ask that.
So Sitara, the Sitara also has some of these projects, but
Yeah.
the Tata Center is a one overarching center where faculty from all the departments come there. But
Oh, I see.
Sitara has its own projects, but it has its own academic programs also. That is, it has a master's program, it has PhD programs, it has its own projects also. Besides that, it also takes similar kind of projects, but they have to reach out for getting funding. So they will actually Sitara will go to Tata Center to get funding for the projects.
Got
It
it.
is something like that. Yeah.
So it's more cross-disciplinary.
Yes, it is cross-disciplinary. The more than, I think, 50 faculty members and about 200 students have been working on that. And this is a part of Tata Center at MIT. Tata Trust has set up a center at MIT. The
Yes.
students here get a opportunity to go and visit, these Tata Fellows go and visit MIT for a month during their tenure at Tata Center in IIT Bombay.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably last slide. This is again another company who would like to get into improve the digital signature. Bank of Baroda. They have a very interesting program of 100 ideas, working on 100 ideas in 5 years. So they want to work with students, they want to work with faculty members, they want to work on pre-incubation, incubation, accelerators, set up chair professorships. So this center has been already initiated in the institute, and it is next to it's close, it is set up in the Gulmohar building of the institute. So I think I have covered most of the presentation also.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I'll be very happy
No,
to.
first of all, thank you very much, Professor Oshie, despite staying for longer than what you had planned. We're at the top of the hour, and I think this time was well utilized.
So Vinay, I just had a couple of questions for Professor Joshi. Yeah. First was, well, actually, maybe just one question. I cannot recognize IIT. Like it looks very different. Yeah. In terms of the faculty research, like typically out here, it's funded by grants, right? Yes. How can we recognize what is the most compelling grant that the faculty is looking for? There seems to be a lot of different initiatives, and we can obviously look through that. If we could also get on the academic side, that would be helpful. I don't know if the information is there, or if you can provide us that.
Yeah, so it is. It will require some kind of a discussion which domain you would like to work on, whether it is AI or ML, or you want to work in a broadening the base of the students in social sciences, you want to work in economics, or you want to work in transportation, cleaner air, water pollution, some kind of we can help you. I mean, we can present these various programs, and we can help you to focus on one of the activities. But your aspirations, that's what I said, your aspirations and marrying your aspirations and requirements of the institute is like a marriage. It's almost like a marriage, and we have been doing this marriage from one legacy batch to another. Right now, this goes on for 1 year, sort of 6 months of discussion, and then I think it requires a lot of brainstorming. I would not be able to answer it in a very first attempt. It requires a lot of brainstorming among yourself, with us, between us, and then we zero upon a cause, which is really worth, which will give you a lot of satisfaction. It will also help the institute in many ways. So it requires some kind of brainstorming among us.
Thank you.
So Adam, what we have done is that there is a running document. Again, you're not part of the group, where people have been contributing their ideas, and the intersection of Venn diagram. So Professor Joshi's presentation was very useful. This is something Mamu or Vinay Malhotra has been quite focused on. So hopefully we will arrive, and we have some time. We have gotten a head start to arrive at the right sort of project. And
Professor Joshi, I had a quick question. Sure. Can you comment on faculty attraction and retention and what the challenges are?
Yes, faculty retention is not that much of an issue for us, because most of the faculty members, once they join, they don't leave as such. But faculty attraction is a challenge because whatever schemes we had, those schemes like YFA, Young Faculty Award schemes, have been taken and followed by the other IITs, and we are giving 4 lakhs, other IITs are giving 6 lakhs now, so we need to, we need not to increase simply the money, but we need to innovate the whole program and, come out with some kind of new ideas and take care of new requirements of new generation. Something like that is very important. Just copying the idea is not going to help, because that competition is not going to help. But yes, the new generation people have new requirements. In the sense, one of the new requirement is that both husband and wife will be working, and they need to be, I cannot take only husband and say that you take care of the wife and join IIT Bombay. No, it is not that easy in the new generation. So that's where we need to have the entire ecosystem, where we have also the challenging jobs for the spouses. And that's where Bombay place actually helps in a big way. But we also, in the institute also, there are many challenging jobs in nanotechnology in various places. I mean, various centers of excellences in the institute.
Right.
Thank you.
I guess
If I may,
Bombay, at the same time, Bombay also poses a challenge of being a very costly city. So
Yes.
their staying arrangements and their
Yes.
residential requirements,
Exactly.
etc., that's actually a very big challenge, I guess, for faculty members,
Yes,
younger
definitely.
ones.
So initially, we all used to stay in one room, kitchen kind of a hall for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But now that actually has gone, even those accommodation are also not available. And you just get out of the campus and you say that I'm staying 1 kilometer away from the campus. It takes you at least 45 minutes to come one way from outside to the campus. Just one
Right.
kilometer or half kilometer, 1.5 kilometer from the campus. It
Right.
takes you 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes in the evening, and it is quite a different life just outside the boundary of the institute. So providing faculty members housing is a big challenge in the institute. Right now, about 70 faculty members are staying outside at various apartments within 3-4 kilometers of the institute.
so Professor Joshi, just a follow-on question on that is that what is the, I know of, I heard from the infrastructure perspective, there is 4,500 student rooms, but how many faculty housing is still short? Is it 70 that are living outside, or others are managing somehow? Like, what's
No,
the
most, yeah, see, the situation is outside is quite difficult. So the 70 definitely are required. So almost like we have a calculation of about one building which is coming up about uh, uh, 80, 80 quarters, which is coming up very close to the main gate, just away from the main gate. It's very close to the main gate. Uh, but that also will not be able to take care, because inflow is, I mean, what my requirement, my understanding, what I'm telling you, the number is of about 6 months old probably. So we may have to have one more building of similar kind to break even. But by then the number of faculty members will again increase. So
Yeah,
definitely
there
at
is,
least
I
one
guess.
more building is required.
So in the same vein, I mean, faculty, but what about all the support staff? I mean, they need to increase too with this kind of student
Definitely.
intake. So then
Yes.
what happens there?
Yes. And I think for the support staff, I don't think they get the kind of salaries which a faculty would get. For them staying outside in Bombay with the cost of living in Bombay, it's much bigger a challenge for the
Definitely.
medium level wale job, I guess. Jobs.
So, so what has been happening in IIT Bombay is that uh, we are uh, we are having similar things for similar challenges for the staff quarters also. So we keep on adding new buildings on the staff side also, because there is a ratio of between the faculty members and the staff. So 1:1.5, something like that kind of ratio is there. That if 700 faculty members are there, then 1.5 times the staff. Some ballpark on a broad level, the institute permits, or the government permits that way. So yes, there is also a challenge, but we try to, there are also buildings for the staff included in our plan of the institute. It's not only faculty.
I guess there is also like other issues, right? You need schools and things like that also, right?
Schools as such, yes, right now we have that, but we have a campus school also, one more school, which is for those who cannot don't want to go to CBSE syllabus. Then the state level syllabus, there is one school in the campus. But I think lately a lot of children are going. There are some good schools which have emerged in Hiranandani and nearby places. So a lot of students children go there.
Professor Joshi, I just wanted to add one point before a question about the faculty attractiveness and retention. Just for everyone's benefit, there is a IIT Bombay and alums that came together to start this faculty alumni network, or FAN, which has been very, very successful. They've been able to tap, amongst us who are now faculty members, and involve them the global fan network, and the other IITs basically have replicated that, as well as what Professor Joshi mentioned about the Young Faculty Award, which was the class of '82 project, which continues.
Yes, so now actually the fan faculty alumni networking is interactions between the faculty members of our institute and the alumni of the institute who are in academics in the USA. So these two have to be brought in, but at that point of time, we also interact with postdoctoral researchers at various universities when we conduct the fan meeting, who are the prospective faculty candidates to the institute. So this fan networking is one of the brainchild of Heritage Foundation. Of course, Vinay has been involved in it, and we organize yearly meetings. And now this has actually taken up one more step forward, because the gathering have become, thanks to the pandemic, the gatherings have become very easy. People from various parts of the world can easily come together by means of such Zoom kind of networks. So now we are actually planning to start this program on a bigger level, where we will continuously interact with, conduct the fan meetings instead of once a year, which we used to conduct when we come in October at USA. Now we will have frequent meetings because of this platform.
Yeah. Are there any questions for Professor Joshi, or any comments?
Yeah, you can, if you have questions, you can write and give it to Vinay. I will be very happy to answer all those questions also. Take that exam also, no problem. I can take that exam also.
But anyway, so on that note, Professor Joshi, I think it's I know some people are leaving, so I just wanted to thank everyone for participating and taking time out, especially you and Deepti, Ravishankar, and Devesh. Thanks for taking the time out, and hopefully we are trying to make this a monthly mini digital reunion. Hopefully we'll get increased participation and a few other topics being discussed. But thanks everyone for joining. Have a good day.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Vinay.
Thanks a lot.
Everyone.
Thank you, Vinay.
Thanks.
For
Thank
you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. Thank you, Vinay.
Bye.
Thanks, Dr. Joshi. Thanks, Vinay.
Welcome.
Bye.
you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vinay. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hey, Ura.